Alright guys, welcome back to another Arcade1Up Infinity game table video. I'm going to be talking about a few games that have come out, and especially Wheel of Fortune, with a big name behind it, to see how that game holds up on the Infinity game table, and a couple of the other releases that they have released here recently that we're going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first game we're going to be taking a look at here is Wunderkammer. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Wunderkammer is how I think it's pronounced. And it's a game for up to six players, and you can play with players and bots combined, which is great. And it's basically a bidding game where you're trying to collect the most valuable, curiosities amongst everyone else at the table and have the value be the highest of your collection. And after 7 rounds, the player with the most points wins. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this looks like. So you can see you can save your games here. You can see all the cards in the game here. So you can get an idea of what each of them does before you start playing. You can see all of the different cards in the game and their information and stuff like that. And then we're going to go ahead and exit out of that. Again, you can access your save game if you're doing saves. And there's a setting option here just to see how you play and the usual stuff that you would see. So if you see here, you can see you win the game by assembling a cabinet that is worth most points after the final round. And the rounds are: the game is played over 7 rounds, or 6 if there are 6 players, with each round consisting of 2 phases. And the phases are auction phase. During the auction phase, players can make bids to try and win the highest priority for that round. Priority is the player who chose item cards from the market. The auction phase starts with a player chosen at random who will either make a bid or pass. Turn order then moves counterclockwise to the next player, who will also bid or pass. The process continues until there's only one player who has not passed. And then you go ahead and it tells you about the bidding phase. The first bid on the auction phase can be any amount. After that, a bid is only valid if the amount is greater, of course, which is how most of these games work. When you play bidding games, after each player has had a turn, additional bids by players can be made by adding to their previous bid. You can pass and obviously not want to participate in the auction phase anymore if you don't want to. And then when only one player is left and they haven't passed, they would be the one to collect that card. In the final round, players don't make any bids. Instead, priority is determined by who has the highest amount of gold remaining. The player with the highest value takes the top priority player, and that's how that would work in the final round. And then you go ahead and acquire. So in order of priority, each player will take a turn choosing one item card from the central market to be placed in their cabinet. For the first round, players simply place the card in their only available placement. And for subsequent rounds after that, a new card is placed beside either the leftmost or rightmost of their card. You can then lock item cards, have neither a title nor a category icons, but follow the same rules as the above. So you guys can see that. And then card appraisal: each player is awarded points from their newly added item card by the number shared of the category icons between it and its adjacent neighbor. So placing cards in different areas is obviously going to matter in this game. Depending on what category icons are between it. Category icons are found along the bottom edge and feature a color and a letter combination: red, blue, green. For every matching category icon, 1 point token is placed between the two cards. Talks about some strategies, so you guys can take a look at that. Players do not make bids on item cards per se, rather they bid on the order of priority. So that's a very interesting distinction on how most of these games work. A lot of the times when you play bidding games, you're bidding on the card, like you would assume, like, hey, I'm bidding on that card I want. But instead here, you're bidding on the priority of when you actually get to go. And then the order that you go, depending on which card you actually get from the row. Therefore, you can never be certain what item card your opponent's going to choose. However, you may deduce this by determining which item card in the market would give them the most points. An important aspect of the game is that the value is relative. An item card in the market may be valuable to you, but not to anyone else, because obviously you're trying to match these icons to the cards in your area, and something that may be worth it to you may not be someone else, and it's entirely possible to not have to bid so high because you know that they're not gonna get that card anyway. Card counting is a legitimate technique. Consider what item cards are still in the draw pile, especially if bidding escalates. Item cards with 3 category icons are certainly the most versatile of the deck, but you can spend most of your gold trying to acquire them on. There may not be much use later. Table talk during the game is permitted and may be used to tactically against your components. That has some house rules. House rules can be enabled or disabled through the actual menu. So if we go back here again, we can go ahead and hit play. And then you can select the house rules here like it was talking about if you wanted to. By going into settings, you can see you could do blind bids, missing the point, gold rush. I'll let you guys explore what those may do. We're just going to go ahead and play the regular one for now. So let's say we're going to play with 3 players. We'll do a purple one over here and a green one over here. Everyone can select their characters. We will do computers. over here. And we'll do myself as a player. We'll leave everything exactly how it is, and we'll hit start. So this is basically a game for those of you guys who play board games. It's a bidding set collection game. That's essentially what this is, which is really cool because there's not a lot of game. I don't think there's any game like this on the Infinity game table, and the fact that you can play with AI and with people, real people locally mixed together is awesome. So you can see here, this is what these are the cards on the market that we're talking about, and this is obviously my first card, so I don't have a lot to go on. And we said that the ones with 3 obviously have the most amount of possibility of matching something on the side, so they're going to be worth a lot, but there's also 2 out there. So this is obviously the weakest link with only having 1 symbol on there. But let's say I'm going to go ahead and place my bid. Let's say I bid 1. Or sorry, I have to bid more than 3 because I didn't realize the computer already bid 3. So let's say that I'm going to bid 3 and I place my bid. And it asks you, do you want to bid 4 gold? I hit yes. And then it goes and passes to the computers. He bid 5, I bid 4, they bid 6. So we're still going on up to see what everyone wants. I'm going to go ahead and remember, you only have 35 coins to start to go with. So if you bid it all in round 1, you need to last up to the final round. Otherwise, you're not going to have a lot of gold to bid with. So there's a little bit of strategy on when you want to do things here. So it looks like I got priority first. So that's exactly what we just bid on. I bid those coins to see who goes first, which is a really interesting twist on what usually this genre is like. And you can see here, you can grab a card from the market. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the encyclopedia, of course, and place it right there. Confirm placement. There's no other cards for me to look at. They take theirs, he takes his, and he's good to go. Then we go ahead and start with round 2. So we do have another one here, but we also have the A and the N, and we have an A as well. So I don't think I'm going to do too crazy this round. He bid 1. I'm going to go ahead and bid 2, kind of leave it for there, and bid my 2, see what happens. They bid 9 and I bid 12. So that's basically going to mean that I'm going to have to stick with this A here. And I think I'm going to for right now and pass for right here because I don't want to bid on this round. They can take that card that they want. So they get to grab their card and then I grab mine. I'm going to go ahead and place this on the right because the A is right next to it. Confirm placement. Boom. I get a chip for having A and A matching on the left-hand side there, as you can see. And you keep doing this for 7 rounds, as it says here. You got an N and an S. We got an N and an S and an S. So this is definitely a good one for me. So let's go ahead and start the bid. I'm going to go ahead and start it at a 5 and place my bid right there. And we're going to go ahead and bid 5 gold. See what everyone else bids here. This goes back to me. He's bidding 7. So I'm going to go ahead and bid 8. Because I want to go second. I'm okay with second. I don't need to go first. So they're bidding amongst each other. So they're going back and forth. They obviously really want these cards. So we finally got that, and I got left with the last one here, but they lost a lot of their money. So they're not going to have a lot to bid with. They got 3 left, and he got 6 left. So a lot going on here as far as that goes. And that one's blank, so that one's terrible. So you definitely don't want a blank one because that's going to do nothing for your points. And then we got another N, N, and S, and this matches my S over here. So I definitely want to have that. I'm just going to go ahead. He's bidding 3 because he doesn't want to go last, but I'm going to force him. Or actually, he's bidding 4, so I'm obviously not going to go last. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, and no one's going to be able to beat me. Or actually, he had 6 left, excuse me. So I'm going to have to bid 1 more to outbid him. And bid that one. Now he's not going to be able to beat me because he's got nothing left, so I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to go ahead and grab the S here. Confirm placement. He's going to grab a card from the middle. He's going to be stuck with the one that does absolutely nothing for him, which is fantastic for points. You can see everyone's points there. You can see he's got 1 in between each one. He's got 2 and 3, so he's doing pretty well for himself over there. Now we have another AN and an ANS and an NS over here. So I don't think I need to bid much here because no one's going to be able to do much anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and bid with the 2 gold. He wants to bid 3. I'm going to force him to bid all of that, and I'm going to bid my 4. I'm going to go ahead and put that there, get my 1 point for having the S there. We're in round 6 here, so we might as well finish the round here to see how this goes. I'm just going to play this quickly here. You can see, obviously, they wasted their points in the beginning, so they're not going to have a lot to choose from here, so this is going to leave it open for me. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one and put it right there. That gives me 2 chips in that corner. That's going to give him 2 over there too. Here we are with the final round. Grab a card from the market and place it in your cabinet below. We're going to go ahead and place this right here. Because this went by who had most gold left. Remember, the final round is done by who had the most gold left. And there you go. It is complete. Everyone is done. And the final tallies are green person won there in first place. So I ended up getting second place with my points again, which is, a fun game. You can see all the stats here. You can see how the rounds even progress and stuff like that against the points and coins. This is honestly one of the best games that they've released in a while as far as a board game goes, because even though it doesn't have a board game name per se, like something that we know from, the board game world, it's still basically a board game that we all know and love. It combines strategy with, the idea that you're trying to use the coins that you have, but you have to try and savor them throughout 7 rounds, which reminds me of like No Thanks and stuff like that I've played in the board game world, which is a fantastic card game, and then has the bidding aspect that you're bidding to see how much you want to actually use of them, which is exactly how that game works, and you're taking cards. So this game reminds me a little bit of No Thanks and stuff like that, games in that exact genre. Really easy to pick up, 6 players, AI included. I mean, this one is fantastic. It's definitely one I recommend, and this is definitely one in my rotation on the Arcade1Up Infinity game table. So great job on this game. So the next one we're going to be taking a look at is Pop-A-Lot Master. So this is another game that is 4 players as well, that you can do. You can either compete against people for leaderboards, or you can also compete with 4 players. You can see they have different modes: sequential, build up, pattern match, and casual. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Nice little quirky graphics here at the beginning. So you can see here are the leaderboards that we were talking about. So you can see the high scores and stuff like that, which is cool. And then you can also just hit play right from here. You can select pop the stars in order as quickly as you can before time runs out. So you can kind of change the game mode sequential, pop the buttons in sequential order, wrong one and you're out. Hit them in sequential order, but each round there are more and more, so they build up. Pattern match, watch the patterns to make sure you pop the right ones at the right time. Casual, pop away at your own pace, nothing but a relaxing game of stress-reducing points. So we're going to go ahead and do pop the stars in any order as quick as you can before the time runs out. And we're going to go ahead and select one. We're going to select all 4 players over here, pop the stars in order as quick as you can. And you can even do easy, normal, or hard, which is great, or expert. So they have all those different options on there. Actually, we'll just go ahead and leave it with 3 players here. We're going to go ahead and hit play. So here we go with the game starting. So we got to pop the stars as fast as possible. Boom. Boom. Out already. Was that not fast enough? There we go. All right, so we got to just do it fast. So you got to pop the stars so that the next player goes. And he gets ready. And of course the board's turned that way because that was that player's turn. Now we're back to player 2. And it keeps just rotating around to, get all of them. I almost missed that one in the corner, and then it rotates back to me, and then you basically go back and forth until you obviously lose. So if I were to lose here and basically take too long, like that, it says you're out, and then it tells you the player who won. Well, actually, I guess you want to go as fast as you can, or you want to keep going as long as you can, so it lets you keep going. So if I mess up on purpose, then you can enter your name, get your name on the leaderboards depending on who you were. Boom. And that's it. That's basically how the game works. It is a really fun, fast-paced game. You can see you get on the leaderboards there when you're playing. It has those different modes that you can pop the stars in any order as quick as you can, and it has those other ones that we talked about before. So it is a really cool game. It is obviously a game for 4 players, but you are playing one at a time. You're not playing all at the same time. But it is really fun. You can pop at your own pace, nothing but relaxing, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's a really fun, fast-paced game. Definitely fun for kids and stuff like that. This is definitely a good addition to the table. Nothing like this on here where you're doing fast-paced actions to try and last as long as possible. Another quick, fun game added to the Infinity game table. This one's not bad. Check it out if you're interested in the gameplay. The next one to talk about here is a game called Chef. And this is basically, you're cooking for customers as they arrive. This is a single-player game where you're either going through career mode or challenge mode. There's 48 levels here to complete. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Remember, you could do career where there's 48 levels, or you can just do a quick match here. So here comes a customer. So she wants a burger. It looks like she just wants salad on it, from what I can tell in the picture. Then she also wants a drink, so you give her that. Or do you have to like, oh, you gotta actually pour it. Once you obviously pour it, then you can go ahead and give it to her. Someone else wants one. This girl wants a burger. So yeah, you're basically taking these, as you can see. Oh, wrong bread. Mess that up, didn't I? Yep, I did. I wasn't paying attention. But you guys get the idea, and you're trying to get the highest score, in the allotted time that you can see to try and get the most amount of points. And you're basically trying to get these customers and give them what they're looking for. So yeah, you guys have probably seen games like this before. You're competing against the clock, trying to get the most amount of money and stuff. So if you're into games like this, like cooking and stuff, this is definitely one for families and kids like that and stuff like that. Not something I'm going to keep coming back to all the time, especially single player games. You guys know I love the Infinity Game Table for local multiplayer games, but it definitely serves its purpose for people who want a game like this. And again, there is a career mode where you can go through different levels so they get progressively harder and stuff. That what you just saw there was just me quickly playing the game to try and get a high score, but there is a career that advances and gets harder and harder as these games usually do. And of course, the main event that we're going to be talking about here today is Wheel of Fortune. Obviously, it has a really big name behind it. Wheel of Fortune is obviously a really popular TV show and a game show on TV. And you can play 1 to 3 player games, play classic word games just like the TV show. There's a bonus round, colorful graphics, and it's designed here specifically. So you guys might recognize Wheel of Fortune because Arcade1Up also released a product called the Casinocade, which I might or might not get my hands on. We'll see to review for you guys. But this obviously is a different version of it. The Wheel of Fortune that's on the Casinocade is obviously, the casino version of it where they have like casino type games and stuff. This is the actual proper Wheel of Fortune game. So you can go ahead, you hear the sound effects and the music and stuff like that in the background. So you can select how many players are going to play by just hitting these red buttons. So let's just say all 3 of us are going to play. Simple as that. You start game. And the category is in the kitchen. So basically all you're doing is you're looking for the words, and once somebody knows what it is and they know what exactly to type in, this is hard to do when you're looking, but I'm just going to let it go so you guys get an idea of what is exactly going on. I mean, there was nothing to actually type because all the letters were already there. But you can choose to, spin when it's your turn here. So now we're going to spin. See what we get. 700. Guess a letter. All right, say P. There is 1P. You can spin, you can solve, or of course you can buy a vowel as you usually would. Let's say we buy a vowel. Let's say there's an A. There's 1A, 2 A's. Again, it's my choice. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel again. Oh boy, I just went bankrupt. Oh, just thought I was going to. Oh wait, it's sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. S. I'm also terrible at guessing, so I wouldn't be surprised if half of you guys probably already know what this is and I don't. Especially landmarks. And we just went bankrupt. That's awkward. But yeah, you're going back and forth, obviously, doing this with the bonus rounds and stuff, spinning the wheel, doing exactly what you would expect in a Wheel of Fortune game. And we just lost the turn, so our spinning is not that great. But yeah, it has these sounds and stuff like that. I mean, it's not the full version of Wheel of Fortune where you have like the announcer on here and stuff like that on the side and stuff like that. You just kind of have like this way of doing it. But it is a fun game to play with 3 players. It is a recognizable name. The only thing that is kind of disappointing is that it doesn't go for more players. I would have expected there to be more players, or at least give the opportunity for you to play against the AI. as opposed to only playing by yourself with no AI players, which you can do. But it is Wheel of Fortune for people who love Wheel of Fortune. It's a great addition to the table, especially again with that name behind it. But it's definitely not my favorite one that they've done as far as these licenses go, like Monopoly and some of the other ones that they've done. I think this is, perfectly fine as is, and there's going to be a lot of people who are happy with this. But I think it is very simplistic. There's not like multiple modes or anything. There's not like AI in the game or anything like that. Having said that, this will still be in my rotation because my family, my grandpa and my grandmother and stuff like that love Wheel of Fortune, so they'll get excited. But just the way that this looks, because it is obviously looking like Wheel of Fortune, you get to spin the wheel and stuff like that. So I say that, but it's definitely still going to be in my rotation because a lot of my family members and a lot of people love Wheel of Fortune, and they'll definitely have fun playing and spinning the wheel and solving the puzzles and stuff like that. I'm just a little surprised that there's not more of the music from the game, from the actual TV show. I thought there'd be more of the licensed music, and I thought the announcer would be here and stuff like that. And I thought there'd be AI in the game because they seem to add AI into most of the games. But still, fun game for what it is, and I will definitely get some fun times out of this with the family and stuff like that. With it being Wheel of Fortune, and honestly, I can't wait to show my grandparents. Are going to love this. So. That is all the games that are up here today, guys, that I wanted to showcase to you guys. If we go back here to the main menu of all the games that we checked out today, I would say that my favorite one is the the bidding one. That's definitely a game that will definitely be played a lot. 6 players, resembles some card games and board games that I've already played in the past. So that's a great addition. After that, I would probably say Wheel of Fortune. After that is a good one. After that, and then the Pop-A-Lot one, and then the Chef one is the last one. I would say that out of the 4 games I showed you guys today, in my personal opinion, 3 of those I would definitely continue to play, and the Chef one is probably on the bottom of my list just because it's a little bit too simplistic for me and stuff like that. But again, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not a great addition to the table, because there's plenty of kids and families who would love a game like that on the table. So it's great to have a good variety. I hope that they continue to add more board games. I hope they have a big one up their sleeve with a big name of a proper board game, something like Catan or something like Machikoro. A little bit more on the board game heavy side as opposed to, again. But that Wonderlock, the Wonder one that we played, the bidding one, even though it has a different name, is a fantastic board game that resembles a lot of board games out there. So it's basically a card game, I guess you can call it. But either way, and I did want to mention real quick that 2 of the games did get online play that didn't have it before. Backgammon got it, and then Oh No, which is one of my favorite games on the table because it did such a great job with the graphics and the sound effects that I've reviewed in the past, got online play as well, so you can now play those games online. So 2 games got additions to online play, which is awesome to see. So guys, that's everything we had to talk about here today. Obviously, continue to follow me and subscribe to me if you guys want to see future videos on what we're going to be seeing on the Infinity Game Table next and what new games they may have coming. And I will keep you guys up to date and let you guys know as this game progresses. I will say there's a lot of good games on this table, even though it's not, not every game has been a hit for everyone. And, I still want more heavy board games on here that are more family friendly, like the ones I just mentioned, like Catan and Machikoro and stuff like that. There's still a lot of fun games on here regardless, and I still have a blast when people come over and stuff like that. So, take that for as you will. Obviously, the games are going to depend on if you like them or not. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.